It's fine. I get up. Lose a focus. Come on, people, get up. Gonna stay focused. Opportunities.
Mahasla sina sinje ngamajuba awumadanga ifuna ngevangeli ngithi ukuthula ebandleni thina samahaslas bafethu sipapela phezulu kodwa ngithi ngaqala ngokuphapha bafethu ngibulisa abantu basemakhaya ngithi sanibonani and a salute to all my hustlers ngithi igama umebele show I'm in the cockpit the show is never on autopilot I'm in control bafethu ngithi let's iSpani it's not a pilot kodwa ke zabe samba nomuntu kuyadafisa ukuba ipilot kodwa ke bekangifishane kakhulu see what I just did there ngisikhuluma ngaye ke ihasta lethu uThando Shabalala kodwa lokho ke azange kuze kumvimba ukuthi angene ke ku aviation industry njenge aeronautical engineer bafethu ngithi ake senze ke njenge khozi elamaphiko phiko sindizele lapha ngakubo siyambona.
So sadly enough my parents might have come off during that time, so it was not, I got excluded from university and then I had to take a bit of a break. Hello, igama lami uThando Shabalala. Ngisuke kwaMlazi kwaPhi manje sengihlala neJozi. Into engifuna ukuyisho ukuthi noma kwenzakala empilweni, whether things go up and down, as long as you believe in God, everything will work out right. So manje, come and take a look into my life, and this is my story. Into engikhumbulayo about childhood yami ukuthi ngesikhathi ngamayears bengihlala naye and yena kade esebenza library ngaleso sikhathi, so if yena mhlambe kade esebenza late library ngizohamba naye khona, and then osangaleso sikhathi because bengumntwana ose university kade bengayivumele lokho ngaleso sikhathi, so into thina mina nobambe siyenza ukuthi mangabe umuntu engena ngoba yena kade esebenza ngase reception yakhona mangikhumbula kahle, mina bengizocasha either ngaphansi kwedesk noma eshelvini lapha ngaphansi abantu bangabona ukuthi khona umntwana lapha nezinto enjalo, because bekuyi part time job yakhe ngaleso sikhathi.
Ngisuka kude noThando. uThando esesemncane ufana ne-handbag yami njengesikhwama sami ekutheni everywhere I would go behlala ihamba nami, because impilo ibilukhuni ngikhula noThando, ngimkhulisa uThando kuyimina ngedwa bengimnakekela ngedingo zakho konke. There was no space or opportunity ukuthi ngibheke ukuthi kubuhlungu laphana kunzima laphana. More than anything I would look more ekutheni on the positive side of life. I would look at the silver lining emafini ukuthi what is it that what is the blessing out of whatever challenge that I go through, and that is still my approach empilweni up to kuze kube namhlanje.
Isikhathi ngisesikoleni, I think it was mhlambe grade 4 and grade 5, I was bullied esikoleni nezinto enjalo. What ended up happening was, I don't know, somewhere between the fighting, beswenza PT or something like that. So sadly enough, my parents might have come off during that time, so it was not, it was.
Ungakwenza ukuthanda ngami kodwa you do not wawethinta ingane zami, so into eyangicaswa kakhulu, into engafuna ukuthi ngisukumele ngamandla. Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ubani onemvume ozinikeze imvume ukuthi athinte uThando amhlukumeze ngoba naku eyingane, uyabona, ngoba naku ebuye ngathi akanamuntu ozomprotector.
Ukuthi ngirigeni personality yami ngaleso sikhathi, I think ngise primary actually ngaqala ikarati ngaleso sikhathi, because the one thing ukuthi if you're someone who mhlambe mangabe like bo victimize, it's a nice way ukuthi gain confidence, because angithi manje you learn ukuthi okay, this is how I block, this is how I defend myself nezinto ezinjalo. So I think for mina le thing sizila kakhulu ngesikhathi ngenza karate ngaleso sikhathi.
I was actually proud of her ngoba noma bakade bamhlukumezile bekabuyela esikolweni, azange adube athi angisayi ngoba bayangihleka benzani. I was actually very proud of her.
Ngesikhathi grade 9, that's when isikole yami Aeronautic Air Force Base bebanama air show every year, fula obona like all the military things, like bona ama airplane, imoto nezonke izinto kanjalo. And ngaleso sikhathi bengingazi kakhulu about ama airplane nazonke lezi zinto, so because benginhlanhla ukuthi ngayakhona ngadecide ngalesikhathi ukuthi whatever I do ngifuna ukwenza sure ukuthi ngiyakwazi nami ukuthi either ngisebenza ngama airplane what design, but bengifuna ukwenza sure ukuthi ngikwazi ukwenza something ngama airplanes. After matric, ama marks were almost straight A's, so benginhlanhla ukuthi ngis bang-offer scholarship to study, and wonka my choices like either to go into physics, to do nuclear physics, noma ngenza aeronautical engineering bangi-acceptile. And because ivithi bona ade bengifonele kuqala bang-offer scholarship, ngivela nga-accept at the same time, and yeah. So during my third year, at some point, umama yakula, and obviously because umama is my rock, and she is yabona lo muntu that if anything goes wrong, mangifeyilile university uyena umuntu bengimtshela kuqala. So for me, obviously I took it as a very hard hit. So uDr. Mami mhlambe angiyeba nesikhathi esiningi. I think the one thing that I felt was mostly ukuthi, like I said, umama is my whole world. To me it felt like ngizoqhubeka kanjani umama engekho. So as a result of that, my marks weren't that good, and I got excluded from university, and then I had to take a bit of a break.
We've gone through a lot. We've gone through times la where I have imoto yathathwa, but njengoba ngisho ngomusa kaNkulunkulu, you know, so umuntu was able to rebuild from the beginning.
And then eventually ngaqeda ngama studies ami ngagraduate. And then ngesikhathi ngiqeda ama studies ami ngagraduate, manje bursary ne-ARMSCO, i-conditions ye-bursary is that bawuqedile ama studies akho, you must go in there for i-interview for umsebenzi. Sengizo-complete internship yami, and kusasa ngizoya for i-interview for a permanent position as a junior engineer in the Aero Systems Division.
Ngiyamfisela ukuthi ahambe kahle kwi-interview yakhe, kodwa nginethemba lokuthi uNkulunkulu uzoba naye.
I'm praying for her ukuthi she must do me as proud as she always did. She must be at her best. She must excel as her inspiration to excel in whatever she does. Ngifisela okuhle konke.
Kusasa kuzomina a lot to me, because number one, ngizobe ngisebenza nama aeroplane, and it's always been a dream yami ukuthi ngisebenza nama aeroplane, and also it means ukuthi ngizoba have a lot more income. So I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is ngizomele ngenze sure ukuthi ngithatha umama nogogo wami nomndeni wami out for a nice big lunch to celebrate. Normally, I just always take a look from time to time on their website pages to make sure that they are Hey guys, singilane ARMSCO, ngizongena roomini for i-interview manje and ngiyasaba and ngifisa ukuthi yonke into ingahamba kahle.
Good afternoon, Tando. My name is Tian Mabunda. I'm a learning and talent development specialist representing HR. We want to welcome you to the interview here at ARMSCO. Together with me, it's Ms. Lee, who is the Senior Manager for Aero Systems. Before we carry on with the interview, Tando, I would like to give you a brief of who ARMSCO is all about. ARMSCO is an official authorized agency for the Department of Defense. So our role, we acquire defense material on behalf of the Department of Defense. We receive requirements from them. We put together specification through the expertise of our engineers. Therefore, we contract the suppliers that will be able to deliver the job. Tando, tell us, how would your educational background and experience gained from the program help you to enhance your career?
In terms of my educational background, I'm a qualified aeronautical engineer, and seeing as though the position is within the aerospace industry, it puts me in a very good position to be able to know in terms of the more technical side with how aircraft operates and also what rules and regulations are required for aircraft to be able to fly in the sky.
Right. Tando, also you've referred to the aircraft that are operating in. Could you perhaps take me through the different categories of aircraft? As you know, there's a number of aircraft that we operate, so could you perhaps take me through them and the different roles of those aircraft in operations?
Okay. In terms of the different aircraft that are normally operated, you get the much faster aircraft like your combat aircraft and things like that. Those normally have to fly much faster in the sense that they're flying faster than the speed of sound, which is Mach. In other words, they're flying at a speed which is greater than Mach 1. And normally those are used in more combat aerial roles. And then you also get other aircraft which are not really used for combat but are used for training and things and that sort of thing, which are normally the aircraft that you find with the propellers that travel a bit slower. And then you also have the helicopters that are also used within the industry.
Tando, in your understanding, please tell me about what do you understand regarding the role of an aeronautical engineer?
In terms of what an aeronautical engineer does, it's Normally someone who works with aircraft, and it could be anything from doing design, in other words determining what the overall shape of anything that flies could be, whether it be a helicopter or a UAV or anything of that sort. If an aircraft needs to be fixed, an aeronautical engineer is someone who's in the ideal position to oversee that whole process and make sure that the other subsystems that are within the aircraft are functioning correctly.
Thando, could you, we are in a very, what is considered to be a high-tech environment and keeping abreast with technology. Can you perhaps tell me how you keep yourself current and know what's going on with regard to technology and technology development?
In terms of that, there's many ways to do that. I mean, there's a lot of shows these days that normally take a look at what's the latest technology in general. I mean, you always have to keep track of things like which aircraft, especially with the bigger companies such as, Boeing, Airbus, Gripen, and all of those companies. You need to always, normally I just always take a look from time to time on their website pages to make sure that they are So normally with all the big companies, you need to always make sure that you check a look and see what direction they're going, because they're normally the ones that pull the industry in terms of which direction the technology is going to be going.
Thando, we have come to the end of our structured interview questions. The next step is we are going to allow an opportunity for practical assessment where we will give you 3 tasks. And those tasks, we're going to use them as part of the assessment for this full interview to make a decision. We will also allocate a mentor for you, and we'll see you again at the end of the day. Thank you for coming through to the interview.
Thank you.
Ka Thando, re a bona gore sengwe le sengwe se o beye mogopolo wa gago go sona o tla se finyella. Ke ngwanyana ya bohlale, o tseba se a se batlang, o ikemiseditse, o ikemetse, o sebetsa ka thata ene o tsitsile bokamosong ba tsela ya hae. Aeronautical engineering ke lekala la mechanical go aviation. Ba ya plana, ba ya designer, ba ya manufacturer, ba lekola difefane le tse ding tse tsamaisanang le tsona. Mahaslase, phihello, ke go phehella go sengwe le sengwe se o se etsang. O finyelle go pallo ya hao ka hare ha boima, diphephetso o tie tseleng ya hao.
Hello, my name is Ketan Moti. I'm from the Aerosystems Department here at ARMSCO. I'm currently working in this department for about 9 years. My current experience in the division, I've worked on several multi-aircraft programs, especially in the fighter aircraft line. I've got an engineering degree focusing on aeronautics as well as a master's degree. And today I'll be Thando's mentor.
The problems faced was that the stand-up master
What goes up must come down. Sisi no, I ain't gag. Joba intokazi ithi yona ifuna uhlala ile phezulu njenge top aeronautical engineer khona lapha na ke ARMSCO bafethu. Joba intokazi izama ke ukutholela umsebenzi. But right now, Mayday, Houston, I think we have a problem. Joba nginishange wejambu lethu yakule viki. Awuthi ke ngincede ukuthi ni solve le nkinga bafethu ngokunikeza ke ama clues amathathu oba R ababini no E oyi1 bafethu. Uma uyazi impendulo ngena lapha na ku Twitter na ku Facebook ufaka owakho umkhafazo. Ake samsobona intokazi ke izama ke ukusolve ke inkinga bafethu. Njengoba ke indiza machine ke inenkinga ye compass. Ake thola ukuthi uzoyithola indlela ngeke azalahleke. I wonder where we're going right now. Is it to the north? Is it to the east? Is it to the south? Or is it to the west? Kodwa ke i-arrow ikhombe ngqo bafethu kuThando ne task 1.
Hi Thando, welcome to task number 1. This task, you're going to do an investigation on a standby magnetic compass what I've got some data for you to analyze regarding the standby medic compass. This data comes from the Air Force, so please treat it with confidentiality. Then after you've done your research and data analysis, you're going to be required to do a presentation to a few of our colleagues. Would you be able to do that, Tando?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I think the first time that I realized I wanted to do aeronautical engineering was when I was about 14 years old, and I flew in an airplane for the first time. And I think ever since then I've been interested in aircrafts in the aeronautical industry.
So what I've done here is I've just actually noticed some interesting patterns here. So I'm just going to note them, and so I can use it later on in the presentation.
I think we treat a lot of information confidential within ARMSCO is because to protect the client. The Air Force, things are very confidential within the Air Force domain. We don't want things to be leaked out. In your opinion, Tando, I mean, the information that is presented here in the documents, are they sufficient for you to use?
In terms of the information here, it is actually quite substantial. I think it also would have been nice if I could get to actually talk to some of the people who recorded this, just to find out, did they just take the easiest option at the moment, or is this, actually what did they mean when they say that they had a difficulty adjusting? What sort of difficulty was it? So that would be quite nice. We're going to research for the standby magnetic compass for iTaskwan Begui into very important, because this cutting among documents kuphela kodwa ama-documents ne-information akutshela ukuthi yini standby magnetic compass, akutshela ukuthi isetshenziswa kanjani izinto enjalo. So yona ukuthi ngenze research bekuyinto important kakhulu, khona ngizowenza sure ukuthi nami ngiya-understand ukuthi njengoba nje why banginikeza le task yakhona and yini i-importance ye-task. Just gonna start preparing the presentation just so that I can show everybody else what I feel my findings are.
Right, Tando, this is the presentation part of task 1 here. You're going to now present all the results from your research that you've done on the standby magnetic compass.
The contents of the presentation are basically going to be the introduction, what the objectives were, the data that I had to analyze, and then finally the results. This is just a picture of the standby magnetic compass.
In my opinion, I think there's very few female engineers in the engineering environment, is because I think they're very scared of going into the field. Maybe it's in terms of, it scares them in terms of what you're supposed to be doing and what you will be doing during the work.
In terms of when the standby magnetic compass is used, it's generally used as a backup system. What that means is if the normal gyros of the aircraft, which are used to sense where the aircraft is at a particular time, if those fail, then that's when the standby magnetic compass will then come in. The problems faced was that the The problems faced was that the standby magnetic compass would take a long time to stabilize when they were busy trying to calibrate it for in-flight. Vele bengisaba ukuthi mhlawumbe bazongibuza something very very technical engayazi, but into engizama ukwenza sure ukuthi if into engayazi ngi-reply nge-something engiyaziyo instead of ukuthi ngizama ukisho noma yiphi information. In terms of what the issues were found, the biggest problem that was found was due to calibration, in the sense that before the compass is used and also during service, they always have to basically realign it and make sure that it's set to the correct references. Ngicabanga ukuthi if ubaba amade khona empilweni yami ngicabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe umehluko ngabe unkulu kakhulu because either way vele bengizoziphusha ukuthi ngizame uku-achieve zonke izinto engizi-achievile and ngicabanga ukuthi if yena kubeka khona manje obviously bengizojabula but either way it's still an achievement enkulu for mina. I'd just like to ask from the floor, are there any questions with regards to this?
How long was your finding? How long did you take to find everything, the findings that you just told us?
The data that I got was actually taken over a year's period. So in other words, over a year that the different squadrons were busy operating, they just went and collected all that data because sometimes if it's too far back, they couldn't get to all of it.
How many MMIRs did you find broken or were they damaged? How many of them?
In terms of the MMIRs that I received, I think out of all of those, we just find on average that 60% of the time when we receive the reports, they'd be damaged or broken, and with the other times it would just be very small issues that the campus was actually experiencing, in the sense that it wasn't broken and it just needed to be jiggled and fixed a little bit.
Thank you, Tanda. Now that concludes task 1. Thank you everybody for attending this presentation. I really appreciate it. Tanda, we can now move on to task number 2. Thanks.
Thande o presentile hantle, o utlwahetse, wa itshepa, le dintlha tsa presentation ya hae di latelana hantle. Le tsona dipatlisiso ke di-skills tse le hore kaofela ha rona ra di hloka. Lekaleng lena o tlameha hore o be creative, o batle go tseba, o nepe hobane diphoso di ka nka maphelo a batho. O hloka National Senior Certificate e tla o dumellang gore yo tse diploma kapa yona degree. Maths le Physical Science di compulsory. Ha ekaba o batla ho qala, kenela ba aviation kapa yona science club. Bua le batho ba ileng gore ba lekaleng lena. Mahaslas, o ska wa dumella mathata a go thibele go etsa se o tsebang ka pelong ya hao o tlameha go se etsa.
Pilot, check comms. From what the pilot's saying, it seems that there aren't any comms on this airplane.
Welcome Tanda, this is task 2 here. Behind me we have a King Air 200 here, and today you'll be doing a quality inspection. The first task that I want you to do on this inspection is to do a visual inspection, and then we will go through a functional inspection where we look at the propeller and all the other items on the aircraft. Would we be able to do that, Tanda?
Yes, sir.
Right. So Tanda, this is the aircraft I told you about. It came in for a service on the engine. Can you tell me what's the things that we have to look at when you do an inspection on the engine?
Some of the important things to look at, especially with regards to the engine, is that you need to make sure that you have all loose wiring has been correctly tied together. And in addition to this, you also need to make sure that items such as these have all been locked down with Loctite to ensure that during flight you don't get any movement or shaking of these critical parts. And also one of the most important things to do is to also always just take a look inside and make sure that none of the maintenance tools have been left inside the engine.
Now that we've finished the visual inspection, now we have to do a walk around on the aircraft. So let's start doing a walk around, Tanda.
as intombazane esuke emlazi bengacabanga vele ukuthi ngingabe la namhlanje ngibe phambi kwe-airplane ngibe ne-opportunity ukuthi ngenze zonke lezi zinto lezi ngoba thina la sekhona amabhanoyi awaboni and izinto eziningi ezinjena akekho umuntu ozokutshela ukuthi hamba uyofunda uyosebenza ngamabhanoyi esikhathini esiningi abantu bazokutshela ukuthi hamba uyobe unesi hamba uyobe uthisha noma izinto enjalo. Okay, I think in terms of the inspection, the first thing we're going to look at is the door. The main thing about looking at the door is we need to ensure that everything on the door is properly fastened and that it's all secure. By that, I mean that this actuator here used for opening the door, you need to make sure that's properly fastened. You need to make sure that all the steps are secure. And you also need to make sure that you don't have any cracks.
Right, Tanda, now that we've done the door, I think we can move on to the wing. Can you walk? I think the most difficult thing about getting an engineering degree is actually the long hours that you have to put in. I think you're taken by surprise in terms of when you go to university, the amount of work that is required. So Tanda, when was the first time you got involved in the aircraft and the aviation industry?
I think the first time I ever heard about the aviation industry was when I used to always go and see the Air Force shows that happen at the Air Force bases. Once I saw all the quick and amazing maneuvers that they did there, I just was like, wow, I want to work with these aircraft. Ukuthi ngibe umfazi kwe-engineering for mina into enkulu because even namanje abekho abafazi abaningi kwe-engineering and mina ngiyibona as into ukuthi kufanele ngizame uku-inspire especially amantombazane aba-good kwi-maths ne-physics ukuthi nabo kumele bangene i-engineering because esikhathini esiningi sidinga more of thina abafazi kwi-engineering because we are never enough. Kumele sifake nje i-girl power lapho.
Okay.
We need to make sure firstly that the tires are in a good and sound condition, and we also need to make sure that obviously there aren't any visual obstructions that we see from inside here, and that also everything looks, especially the landing gear actuators here, that they look like they're also in a very good condition, which is what we see currently. Ngoba ubaba at some point kade ngafuna ukwenza lutho ngami ngesikhathi ngibona umami esebenza enze sure ukuthi sinokudla siyafunda nami ngenze sure ukuthi nami one day manginabantwana ngifuna ukwenza sure ukuthi number 1 ngibafundisa ukuthi akunendaba ukuthi kwenzakaleni empilweni kumele baqhubeke and banga give up ngama dreams abo. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with some of the things that need to happen before the engine started. The first thing the pilot has to do is he has to ensure all the comms are working, and he also needs to make sure he checks all of the instrumentation within the aircraft. Pilot, check comms. From what the pilot's saying, it seems that there aren't any comms on this airplane. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ask the pilot to start the right engine.
Look at the aircraft, guys.
Pilot, we're happy, and that's it.
Okay, thanks, Tando. This ends task 2. We'll now move on to task 3.
Thando o lekotse tsohle go ya ka go latelana ha tsona. Mona diphoso ha di batlahale. Mosebetsing ona o ka specialize, o rarolla mathata a boima, o etsa di-tasks tse fapaneng. Empa dithuto tsa teng di nka nako e telele gore o be a professional engineer. And hape o tswela pele o ntse o ithuta, o sebetsa di-hour. Ba teng ba bangata ba tla go jwetsang gore o ka se kgone. Empa ho wena ho ba supa gore go a kgonahala. Birds of the feather flock together. Ingakho ke nathi ke sindizisana ke nehasa lethu uthando bafethu. Intokazi ke enolwazi ngisho nekhono ke lokulungisa ke indizamshini. Into engantshela ukuthi all I know about wings are hot wings. Kodwa ngabe niyalazi ke igama sifuna lapha kuwe Jumbo. Awuthi ngincede nginikeze one more clue, which is the letter I. Uma ke sibuye emva kokhefu, iSpani nothando is gonna give you wings. That sounds like a popular ad. That reminds me, it's time for an ad break. See you after this.
Something like this, no.
Altana, this is your final task, task 3. For this, we have a Seeker 400 UAV, and for this task, what I want you to do, first of all, is to explain to me what a UAV is, its uses, its functions. I'm going to ask you a few more questions in detail on it, and then afterwards, we'll move over to the design office where we've got, on the computer, I want you to do some simulations.
Okay, basically what a UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle. And what makes it so amazing, it's the fact that UAVs such as this one in particularly are either able to fly by themselves, or you have a pilot who sits in the ground station who's actually able to control the aircraft while it's flying. Ngesikhathi ngiqala ngibona amabhanoyi kuma-airshow la wase-Air Force, ngaleso sikhathi into mina ngizitshelile ukuthi anginendaba ukuthi umuntu uthini, even if bangekho abanye abantu abamnyama la ngizosebenza khona, ngifuna ukwenza sure ukuthi sonke isikhathi ekuseni emini ebusuku ngiyasebenza and ngenza sure ukuthi one day nami ngizosebenza ngababhanoyi.
Tando, now that you've given me a good background on what a UAV is and where it's used and all its functions, what we want to do is just to test the UAV if it's functioning properly. So we want you to do a startup for us. Then we move over to the design office where we will simulate the UAV in flight, simulate it landing and the forces that it will experience during flight. There's definitely scope for women in engineering. You can also add that you know, sometimes you think of engineering as getting your hands dirty and all of those things, which maybe women are put off by. But I think when you actually do the engineering, you find out that it's not really that, and you actually are doing some interesting work and you're contributing. So Dana, now we're in the mission control room here. What I want you to do, just to show me that you have a little bit of knowledge of how the UAV operates, I just want you to do an engine start and switch the lights on, after which we'll go to the design office and do these simulations.
Okay, lights on. Okay, now are you ready for the engine starter? Okay, lights are on. Okay, now executing engine starting. Started the engine.
Tanda, that was good. Let's move on to the design office where we can do the simulations now.
Okay, so ngesikhathi esikoleni bangibhulile bengizizwa ngathi mhlambe like bangirejecta like amantombazana akhona, and also bengizizwa ngathi mhlambe angibelongi khona because angithi labantombazana ibona kade beba ama-cool kids ngaleso sikhathi besesikoleni. So bengizizwa ngathi mhlambe angikho good enough, or mhlambe mhlambe kumele ngiye kwesinye isikolo nezinto ezinjalo.
Hi Tando, so now we're at the design office here. What I want you to do at the office now is I'll take you to your computer there and we're going to do some simulations. One of the simulations I want you to do is to simulate the aircraft landing and to show me the forces that the aircraft experience when it lands. And the other one is to do a model or simulation of the flutter that the UAV will experience. So let's go ahead and do that, Tando.
Okay.
I think in terms of the technology within this environment, it keeps on changing. Being in the military environment, you keep on learning new things. There's new projects coming up. You have to keep abreast. I think what you get at university is just a basic baseline of knowledge. You have to essentially build on that knowledge and to learn the industry itself and to keep on growing, otherwise you'll be left behind.
So basically what this is now is this is a CAD model of the UAV, and as you can see here you have the landing gear which are here at the bottom, which is what we're actually going to be simulating just now with the landing. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what happens to the landing gear when it lands, in terms of whether it lands on 1 wheel, 2 wheels, or 3 wheels. We want to make sure that it can actually handle that and that it doesn't break when it lands. So in terms of what flutter does to an aircraft, what happens is sometimes you might find that you get this golden moment where the aircraft is traveling at a certain speed and the forces that the air then impose upon the aircraft actually cause the aircraft to do something like this. No. Because ngingafela empilweni yami, angiboni as into ukuthi mangifuna uqala into entsha manje sengiyasaba, because ngiyazi vele ukuthi empilweni kuyenzeka vele ukuthi izinto zosifeyila. So because sengibe nganayo leyo feeling leyo, ngiyazi ukuthi at the end of the day impilo yaqhubeka, angeke yonke into ingabusayenzeke, and just because into yafela kusho ukuthi kungamele uyenze lento.
All right, thank you Tando. That's it for task number 3 then.
Hi Tando, welcome back.
Tando, we had a discussion with your mentor and he discussed the task that you did for us. Before we continue, do you have any questions for us?
With regards to the UAV, would it be possible for me to use it as the current focus of my master's on UAV control if I do get the job?
Yes, Tando, the UAV area is actually one of the newer areas within ARMSCO, and we're looking to appoint particularly female specialists in that area. Furthermore, we love to develop our own people, and also if their studies ties in with, the strategy within ARMSCO where we are going, then definitely there's scope for you to use that in your masters. And perhaps, as I said, it's a new division. Perhaps one day you could also head it up and become one of the few female managers that we have within the company.
Tando, we have had a discussion with your mentor in terms of the task that you have done. We will receive good feedback. We have also gone through our notes to observe how you performed on the interview. And now I hope you are ready for this, Tando. We just want to inform you that you have been successful with this interview. You are going to be appointed as an aeronautical engineer. You'll be coming an addition to our team.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Well done, Tando.
Thank you so much.
We wish you all the best.
Yeah, and I won't let you guys down. This is an amazing opportunity, and wow.
We are pleased as well, Tando, that
Okay.
you're going to be one of the team members that will make effective contribution to the company.
Umsebenzi sengiwutholile lana e-ARMSCO ngijabulile ngoba lo msebenzi uzongisiza ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngezifundo zami and also ngithole experience kwi-aerospace industry. To all my hustlers out there, press up, push up, panda.
Well done, Tando. Re bone ka wena gore batho ba ka se go thibele. Mathata le maemo le ona a ka se go thibele. Ke wena fela ya ka ithibelang. Potso ya rona ya beke ena e tswa ko Thembelele. A re yena ona le kgatlhego ya go kenela South African Air Force. Bona he bana le di-careers tse kgatlhisang tse di leng moyeng le tse di leng fase. Military Skills Development System ke yona tsela ya batjha ba mona South Africa ba e leng gore bana le kgatlhego ba ba ka applyang ka yona. Ha ona le grade 12, ona le dilemo tse di le 18 go ya go 22, o na le diploma kapa degree kapa yona 3 years experience, o ka finyella, o tla volunteera he dilemo di le 2 ntse o fumana dikwetliso. Ha e ka ba gona le go sa utlwang, hopola o checkela Facebook kapa yona website, romela ya hao potso. Hustlers, nembona uthando bafethu uyithathile lo msebenzi wawasha wawushuka wawulahlela phezulu. Now look at her career, it's now airborne. Okungiletha kwimpendulo ye-word jumble lethu yakule viki. Igama kade sifuna bafethu yi airborne. If you got it right, wave your hands in the air. If you got it wrong, wave them side to side like you just don't care, because you have another opportunity next week bafethu ukuthi nithole i-word jumble right. Kala umagama mina umfana kamntambo ngithatha zonke intambo sengiphuma kanje. Akahlala nikhona lapha ku Twitter, Facebook and also on YouTube. Ngihlala ngitshela ngithi don't look down, look up and stay up like the planes in the sky.